What if I told you that everything you think you know about Islam is completely wrong? What if the religion that 1.8 billion people follow isn't what the media has been telling you for decades? I'm about to share some facts that might literally blow your mind. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why this has been one of history's best-kept secrets. Here's the thing. I used to think the exact same way. Growing up in America, every time I heard Islam on the news, it was connected to something terrible. Terrorism, oppression, violence against women. That's all we ever heard, right? So naturally, I thought Islam was this backward, violent religion that hated everyone who wasn't Muslim. But then something happened that changed everything. 3 years ago, I was having a heated debate with my Muslim coworker about religion. I was throwing accusations at him. Your religion oppresses women. You hate Christians and Jews. Islam spreads through violence. Do you know what he said? He didn't get angry. He didn't argue back. He just smiled and said, "Bro, have you ever actually read what the Quran says about these things?" That question haunted me for weeks. Because, honestly, I hadn't. I was basing my entire worldview on headlines and Hollywood movies. So I decided to do something crazy. I was going to read the actual Quran just to prove my coworker wrong. But what I discovered absolutely shattered everything I thought I knew. The very first thing that hit me was this verse in chapter 2, verse 256. There is no compulsion in religion. Wait, what? The book I thought was all about forcing people to convert literally says the opposite? Faith has to come from your heart, not from force. This isn't some minor footnote. This is fundamental Islamic law, and it gets even deeper. Chapter 5, verse 32 says, "If you kill one innocent person unjustly, it's as if you've killed all of humanity. But if you save one life, it's as if you've saved all of mankind." Think about that. This is protecting everyone's life. Muslim, Christian, Jewish, atheist, it doesn't matter. The sanctity of human life is sacred across the board. I remember sitting there thinking, this is the opposite of everything I've been told. Then I came across chapter 5, verse 8. It says you must be just and fair even with people you totally disagree with. Even if you hate someone's beliefs, you still have to treat them fairly in court, in business, everywhere. This isn't just being nice. This is commanded justice. Here's where it got really interesting. I started digging into history and discovered the Constitution of Medina. When Prophet Muhammad moved to Medina, he didn't create a dictatorship. Instead, he built what was basically the world's first multicultural society. Muslims, Jews, Christians, and pagan tribes living together with equal rights and mutual protection. Non-Muslims kept their own religions, their own courts, their own laws, while still being full citizens. And this was in 622 Ampere D, when most of the world hadn't even figured out basic human rights. Now, about women's oppression. This one shocked me. The Quran gave women legal rights to inherit property, own businesses, and even initiate divorce in the 7th century. Chapter 4, verse 7 specifically commands that women get their fair share of inheritance. Meanwhile, women in Europe couldn't even own property until the 1802nd. The plot twist? A lot of the oppression we see today isn't Islam. It's local cultural traditions that hijack the religion. Culture isn't Islam. And Islam isn't culture. What about violence? Yes, the Quran talks about fighting. But look at chapter 2, verse 190. Fight those who fight you, but do not transgress the limits. It's purely defensive. And when the enemy wants peace, chapter 8, verse 61 says you must pursue peace too. The Prophet Muhammad himself lived peacefully alongside Christians and Jews. He honored treaties, protected minorities, and never forced anyone to convert. And here's something that really blew my mind. The Quran doesn't call Christians and Jews enemies. It calls them people of the book. It even honors prophets like Moses and Jesus. In fact, Jesus is mentioned more times in the Quran than Muhammad himself. So here's my challenge to you. And it's the same challenge my coworker gave me 3 years ago. Don't take my word for it. Don't take anyone's word for it. Go read the Quran yourself. Start with a clear English translation like Sahih International or Abdel Halim, and ask yourself this: if Islam really was everything the media says it is, how did it become the fastest growing religion in the world? How do 1.8 billion people follow something that's supposedly all about hate and violence? I'll be honest, this journey completely changed me. Not just my opinion about Islam, but how I approach everything. I realized I'd been living my life based on other people's opinions, instead of seeking truth for myself. And here's the most mind-blowing part. After months of research, talking to Muslims, and reading Islamic history, I came to a conclusion I never expected. The evidence was overwhelming. The peace, the justice, the logic, the way it all connected. It all made sense. So one day, in the quiet of my own room, with no one forcing me, I said these words from my heart. I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and I bear witness that Muhammad is the messenger of Allah. And just like that, I became Muslim. Look, I'm not here to convert anyone. Remember, there is no compulsion in religion. I'm just sharing my story and what I discovered. Maybe you'll come to the same conclusion. Maybe you won't, Buck. But at least you'll know the truth, instead of living on assumptions. If this video opened your eyes, hit the like button and share it with someone who needs to hear this. And if you want to dive deeper, check the links in the description below for Quran translations. The truth has a way of setting you free. The question is, are you brave enough to seek it? Thanks for watching, and may peace be with all of you. And if you think this was mind-blowing, wait until you see my next video about what the Quran says about science and the universe. You're not going to believe what I've found.